Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rose Dunn. I am a Texas realtor and I am a realtor with Coldwell Banker. Today, I want to talk about the marketing behind the buying a home with $500 or less, or $1,000 or less, or zero down. Yes, you can buy a home with zero down. If you doing a VA loan, yes, VA is no down payment. If you're doing a USDA, zero down. But if you are a, let's say, irregular buyer and you are doing a FHA loan or you're doing conventional, there is no zero down. The reason I say there is no zero down because the concepts of zero down, you are looking at zero down. That means you don't pay no deposit, nothing. No, you can buy a home for less money than what it used to before. FHA give you the options where you can put as less money as possible, and because there is so much help out there for first time home buyer, um, you have down payment assistant. You can do, let's say for example, the biggest thing right now is the new construction home. For example, if you go to a builder to buy a house, not every builder does that. It's some builder, depends on the price of the home. You can buy a home with $500 down, and if your income bracket is where you can get down payment assistance for first time home buyers. Yes, when you do first time home buyer and then the builder pay for your title policy, they pay for your the typical things you will ask, like closing costs, not the full closing costs, but they give you a portion for your closing costs. They pay for your title policy, and then if you use the builder in-house lender, they give you some incentive that covered the portions of the closing costs, the lending fee, and then you don't have to bring so much money for down payment. That's how you end up pay little money, like $500 or $1,000, depends on the builder policy for deposit. And sometimes when you go to closing, you may have to pay a couple of thousands. But if my ex from what I have experienced with buyers that get down payment assistance, they end up paying, I would say, less than $2,000. And some of my buyers actually pay 250, $300, and some pay 2,000, depends on the price of the home. But that's all it says. Okay, no money down. Let's say if you are going after a house that's already built, that's already living, that's a resale, then the lender, for example, can say, okay, you qualify for down payment assistance. When you go under contract, you have to put, most seller require the 1% for the earnest money, which is the good faith money, and then you have your inspections, that's $500 to $600. Then you have the appraisal, that's run between 6 to 650. Then that's money out of your pocket. And then depends on how you negotiate the contract, the seller might be willing to give you some money for closing costs, but not all the closing costs. That you still have to bring some money on the table. But let's say you buy a house, any home that is under 200,000, it is impossible. I'm not saying, let's not say impossible, but I will say it will be hard for you to get the seller to pay for your closing costs, because we have so many buyers in the Houston area that are looking at home. So any home that is under 200, as long as the home is in prestige conditions, you we get multiple offers. If the house is not overpriced, you will get multiple offers, and sometimes the house might be priced exactly where it's supposed to be, because you have so many people that going after that home, then it end up sell overpriced. So that's been said, when it comes to zero down, it's all depends on the way the contract is structured, the way the lender is structured the loan. And also, one more thing about the zero down I was going to say is, the sometimes the lender might say, okay, let's send the offer for over asking price, and you ask the seller to give you that money back, that's pay for your closing costs. That's another options the lender might use. I don't deal with the lending part. I have several lender that I use, and I refer my client to them. But because I have done so many transactions where my buyers they need assistance, and it's I've asked the seller, and it's always good when you go to before you go out to start looking at home. It's good to get pre-approved, where you give the lender all your financing informations, which is typically your W-2s, your pay stubs, and bank statement, and then they get to check your credit to see how much home you can afford. This way, you don't go and start looking at home at 300, 400, or home that is out of your reach. And then when you get approved, you are ready to buy, you get approved, and you approve for less money, and all the homes you were looking at were home that was already out of your reach, then you expect to find something what you already saw for that same price. It's impossible. And I've seen a lot of buyer decided, oh, we're not gonna get it home because the house we want, we cannot afford it, we're gonna wait a couple of years. Guess what? A couple of years from now, that house you were supposed to get today, where you will have built equity, you don't buy it, tomorrow you will not find it on the market for that same price. 3 months from now, you are not going to find that house for that same price. So if you want to buy a house, if you are a first time home buyer, you want to get your first home, get your foot in the door, build equity, and then you can decide 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you can sell that house where and use the equity to buy a bigger home, a more luxurious home that your heart desired. But for right now, if you cannot afford that home, don't just say, oh, I'm gonna wait for 2 years, I'll be renting. Guess what? When you are renting, you are losing money. So just just look at the pros and cons of you getting a house this year, 2 years from now. Interest rate is at the all-time low compared to a 8%. I just went to a listing appointment, and one of my sellers, his interest rate was 8.5%. That was 18 years ago. And he had never refinanced his home. So he was paying his mortgage 8.5%. And when I asked him, why didn't you refinance all these times when interest rate, he said, well, I didn't know. I just never thought about it. And he never refinanced, and he was paying all that money. So, my challenge to you is to go look at your budget. If you are renting, you are paying 1,300, 1,400, 1,600 for rent right now. I'm pretty sure you can get a small starter home for that same budget. That's including your taxes, insurance, included in your mortgage. And if your credit is 620 and more, you are making less than to in order for you to get down payment assistance, the income bracket is range between, I would say, if you are a single person, you're looking at 40,000. A couple, you're looking at 75,000. And if you have kids, it's a little bit more. But I don't have all the numbers in front of me. I don't want to speculate. But if you want to look to see where you are, you want to buy, just inbox me, send me an email, and I can send you my lender's informations. I can send you a printout sheet because I have all those documents in my desktop. I can send them to you. You can look at the income bracket. You can look at the credit score, where you want to be, where you have to be in order for you to receive down payment assistance. And if you live in the city of Houston limit, there is down payment assistance for city of people who live in the city of Houston. That for I would have to make another video just for the city of Houston down payment assistance. But you have the Texas state, you have the Seth, you have different program. Harris County, we have different program that offers to buyers a more way to afford a home. And if you are a veteran, you can, of course, you already qualify for VA loan. Depends on where you want to buy a home, you can get the USDA, but USDA is mostly for land and farms. But I've seen some builder do some USDA loan. I haven't done it with them personally. I have buyers that goes there, and then they initially say they will do a USDA, which is a zero down, and then in the middle of the transactions, they find out that buyers make too much money, they not qualify for USDA, and the buyer end up doing a FHA or conventional. So that being said, again, I will stop here for now. So if you want to know more about how to get a home with $500 or less, $1,000 or less, those are the typical program that's out there that for buyers where they don't have to bring so much money down. Again, thank you for watching this video. If you find the information is helpful, leave a comment, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, because I am going to send out video every week on how to become a homeowner and how you can get you your first home with less money out of pocket as possible. Thank you. Feel free to inbox me, contact me.